All right, what's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome back again for another video. So today we are gonna discuss Zach Lavine to San Antonio potentially, and what are the odds and what are my thoughts about this, potential move right after this.
Get the lowdown on one of the most iconic basketball teams in the world. You're listening to Chicago Bulls Nation.
All right, Bulls Nation. So one of the destinations ever since the DeJounte Murray tweeted this Photoshop picture of Zach in a San Antonio uniform, it's been a speculation, right, about Zach maybe leaving Chicago to go to San Antonio. And let's first and foremost let's address the things that will go why it is possible. The biggest why is that San Antonio is one of the 5 teams that can basically sign Zach outright without doing a sign and trade. Those are the teams that are a bit scary if you're a Bulls fan, because you're not gonna get anything in return. Those are the teams that you really have no leverage when it comes to Zach leaving you, right? There's all these talk about the Lakers and other teams and Sixers. That is all nonsense, because the Bulls, when they're saying like, oh, he's a free agent, yeah, go ahead, sign with Lakers then. If you're a free agent, if you don't need us, go ahead. They just can't. They need the Bulls' help, and whenever you need the Bulls' help, the Bulls has some sort of a leverage in here, but not with San Antonio, because San Antonio actually does have the cap space, or at least could free up a cap space to sign Zach outright. So they don't need the Bulls in this situation. Now, that's one of the things going on for San Antonio, is that they could do that. The second one is that he's good friends with Jonte. And, with how the NBA goes now, with the fraternizing and all that stuff, that is a possibility, although not a big one. If you are going to give up tons of money, I could care less if I play with my friends. But is it a possibility? Absolutely. So that's another thing going on with San Antonio that might be able to sign Zach. The next one would be Coach Pop. Being coach with Pops has, pros and cons to it, but he worked with Pops in the Olympics. So they might have developed some sort of relationship that, go beyond USA basketball. And maybe Zach liked what he saw. Pop kind of pushed Zach to be one of his main defenders in that Olympic team, and maybe Zach wants that. Maybe that's the kind of coach that Zach wants to play with, So we never really know, right? So plus it's San Antonio, an historic franchise, well respected. They can't really tank. His Pop is just so good that they even had a shot. They were in the play-in, and they traded basically all their good players, and they're still good enough to get to the play-in tournament. That's how, good this organization is. World class. So maybe Zach wants to be a part of that. You never know, right? Maybe he does. But let's talk about some of the negatives that, comes to that. First and foremost is the money. They can't offer 5 years, and we stated that before. Is it really that big of a deal? I don't, if I'm a player. With Zach's caliber, it might be, because of how injury prone. I wouldn't say injury prone, but he does have pre-existing injury that, of course, we don't want that to happen to anyone, but this could be his last big contract, right? And 54 million is a big deal, right? Like, let's be honest here. That is the difference. It's not guaranteed, because there's no guarantee that the Bulls are going to give him that 5th year anyway. So that's one of those things. The market, I don't know. You got the San Antonio market, you got Chicago. Obviously, Chicago is a bigger market, a bigger city than San Antonio. But today's day and age, is that really that big of a deal? Perhaps. I don't know. Like here in Chicago, obviously I live in Chicago. I see Zach's commercial left and right here. Advocate. Now he's in Mountain Dew and all. Would he get that if he was in San Antonio? Maybe. But we didn't really see Tony Parker in a lot of commercials, did we? At least, nationwide, but maybe he did. Maybe he does have a lot of deals in San Antonio. I don't know, but people seem to factor in, like your exposure and being in a big market. So is that a factor in Zach's decision? I don't know. He's with Clutch Sports, and they like the glitz and the glamour and all that stuff. So maybe I really don't know, right? So that's another thing. But the biggest thing too as well is that DeMar just got off of San Antonio. You don't think DeMar talked to him, and it's, for all accounts, it looks like DeMar likes, playing for Pops. But there are sacrifices playing for Pops. When DeMar moved to Chicago, he this is the first time he, got this type of success, and that is maybe, and at an older age as well. Is that, is it just a right fit? Perhaps, but I feel like DeMar is playing freely now compared to what he did in San Antonio, where if you're playing for Pops, you gotta fit with the system, and you can jack up shots just like how you normally would do in a regular, team. And you would be like, hey, if you want to win, you gotta sacrifice some. And I agree to that sentiment, but DeMar didn't win anything, So was LaMarcus Aldridge. So if you are a star, quote unquote, and it takes a different kind of person or a star to play for San Antonio. You gotta be selfless. And I don't know if Zach is that. I'm not saying he's not, but he strikes me as the person who would, if it's true that he doesn't want to share the limelight with DeMar, imagine sharing the limelight with Pops. He is San Antonio. And everything that you do has to be within the system. So I don't necessarily know if playing for Pops, like I said, is like both a blessing and a curse. Like it didn't work for LaMarcus Aldridge. It didn't work for DeMar. To an extent, it didn't work out for Kawhi because he did want to leave. And then when he left, his game flourished. Yes, he became an MVP, a Finals MVP under Pops, but maybe that's due to, you make an argument because the big three was still there at that point, but would Kawhi be the Kawhi that he is now, like a megastar without, if he was in San Antonio? Perhaps, but I don't know if he's going to get New Balance and all that stuff. I don't know, right? All I know is he became that when he moved out. Again, I'm not bashing San Antonio here, but I'm just saying, I actually love San Antonio basketball, world-class organization, like I mentioned, but you gotta be a certain someone to play for that organization. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure DeMar talked to him, loved Pops, but maybe not good for your career overall, So we'll see. But yeah, San Antonio, as far as fit, anyone can fit in San Antonio, in my opinion. Like, you play for Pops. If you're good, if you're willing to sacrifice, you'll make the playoffs. And especially with a point guard like Jonte, and a defensive point guard who has a lot of upside. If they get Zach, their rebuilding is going to be expedited, especially with the draft picks that they do have. It'll be a good turnaround for them, but we'll see. But as a Chicago fan, San Antonio is one of those teams where I'll be like, I don't know, we might lose Zach there, but we'll see. Let me know in the comments how you feel. Thank you for watching. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel, especially if you're a Bulls fan. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.